Okay, we'll see if Andy and Nate can make it. I just pinged them. But let's go over today's lunch. Today's lunch is what? What is that face? No, it's not. Let's here. I added a little bit of nacho cheese sauce to it. Let's give it a taste. It's actually really good. What? What? But I'll go over. Oh, Andy, how's it going?
Doing all right.
Yeah. I was just going over today's lunch. Today's lunch is a dish Lady Stone made last night. It is pasta with a sort of salmon lemon garlic sauce with a bit of salmon as well.
Hmm.
It is really, really tasty.
Okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm. She made it from scratch, and it is amazing.
That
So,
does sound good.
what were you saying?
I was just saying that does sound good.
Mm-hmm. So, let's go over today's topic. I don't know if Nate will join us, or it looks like Nate's online. I don't know if Nate's coming in, but we'll go ahead and get started. So, I'll make like a more focused video on this, but I think we can agree the MHA ending it really sucked. Yeah,
I wouldn't know.
you didn't hear about that?
No, I don't pay attention to MHA.
Oh, really? I
Not
thought
a
it would.
fan.
Really, not a fan of MHA? What's your issue with MHA?
I don't really. I don't really care for overly popular, overrated shonen series. They put me off. So like JJK, Black Clover, My Hero, that kind of stuff.
For me, like MHA among shonen anime was one of the better ones, and up until this ending, of course. um, yeah, this ending was panned almost universally. Everyone thought it was really, really bad. Um, basically, what happens is Midoriya does not confirmedly end up with Uraraka. He somehow becomes a teacher at UA, despite losing his quirk. And apparently he didn't speak to his friends for like 8 years. And so everyone was really, really disappointed at this ending. And it kind of goes into like how exactly and when exactly you should end an anime in general. Because when you really think about it, like if we're gonna put this in terms of Zatch Bell, ultimately, when you say 100 Momoto children, that defines an endpoint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, it's gonna come down to top two, and the top two are gonna have a battle. The whole goal is to find out how exactly that susses out. Some shows don't define their ending as much. Um, hang on, Nate is confused about the time. But yeah, you want to define your endpoint, and the problem that a lot of people really also have is that My Hero Academia was supposed to be the story of how Midoriya becomes the greatest hero in his world. And a lot of people feel like we didn't get that story. So this was another point of this was a really disappointing ending, despite everything the series gave us. And again, that ending point has to be defined and really shown. Like, I went over this in remember my Uncharted stream where I talked about how the ending to One Piece has to oh, Nate's on their way home. So I'm not sure if Nate's going to be able to make it. Oh well, I guess that happens. But yeah, Andy, you remember what I talked about during my Uncharted stream?
I don't remember.
Well, I put the TikTok of it up, but basically how when One Piece crew finally get to Whale Tail Island to get the One Piece, the treasure, this ending has to go all out. Like, no joke. It has to pull out all the stops. Not only does Luffy have to defeat the big bad of the world government, but yeah, they have to also endure all these like death traps and everything that Gold Roger set up to defend the treasure. Like, I think we can both agree that would be a disappointing ending if they didn't do that, right?
I mean, do you watch One Piece or read it?
Not really, but again, that ending point has been defined. That the One Piece is at the end of the Grand Line on an island called Whale Tail Island. That is where
that's
supposedly
not called,
Gold Roger. Okay. Oh, go ahead.
I said that's not what it's actually called, but it does. But that's beside the point.
Well, that's as far as I know, that's what it's called. But that is where the One Piece treasure is, and where their goal is to get. Eventually get to that island, get the One Piece. Luffy is proclaimed king of the pirates. And supposedly on the way, their goal is to effectively overthrow the world government. Basically, honestly, One Piece is a mythic retelling of like the actual era of the pirates. Like, are you familiar with like the reason why so many pirates cropped up between about like 1700 and 1800?
No clue.
Okay. Time for a bit of a history lesson. So, as we know, about before America was the big world power, the British Empire was the world power. From about 1650 to about 1850, the British Empire controlled about 1/4 of the world's landmass. That's how big the British Empire was. And to do that, naturally, they had a lot of, strong soldiers under their employ, especially a very strong navy. Eventually, they mistreated some members of this navy. So, what is not often told is that a lot of these pirates, like Henry Avery and Blackbeard and, all the famous pirates, they used to be British privateers. They worked for the British Navy. But after their mistreatment, they quit and decided, fuck you guys, we're going to just basically harass your trade routes and be pirates. you know? So that's basically where a lot of the story for Pirates of the Caribbean and One Piece comes from. Again, Gold Roger is supposed to be Henry Avery. Hell, you can probably find a juxtaposed image of the two. Hang on, give me a minute. Gold Roger Henry Avery. Let me take a look here. Yeah. Yeah, right here. No, not quite. Here we go. Okay, so this is Henry Avery or Henry Avery. I'm going to put that picture in other pictures. And again, this is, let's see, where is Gold Roger? And as we know, this is Gold Roger. Again, the two are like very similar looking. Again, this is where that classic look comes from. You know, the tri-corner hat, the red coat, and again, the red coat comes from the British Empire. That was, you know, his uniform when he worked for the British Empire. And so I think what One Piece is trying to do is, since, you know, obviously Luffy was never part of the Marines, I think the goal is largely just to tell, you know, how exactly you throw off the shackles of oppression and everything in their own way. That message is kind of incoherent, I would argue. I think, honestly, Oda needed to refine that a bit more. But that's the basic core premise. So, like I said, when One Piece gets to its very ending, its last few chapters, where they are on that final island, there needs to be death traps, and, you know, all the pirates have converged on this island along with the Navy. There needs to be this big, gigantic, epic battle. And it ends with Luffy being the one with his hands on the One Piece. You know, and that would be the ending that everything was built up for. So every anime ending, or any ending to any story, has to have a satisfying conclusion where everything is built up to that moment. Since, you know, the show was called Zatch Bell, obviously we get Zatch Bell becoming king of the Momoto world. So that is the key thing with the ending to any anime. The ending has to satisfy the story being told. You know? I mean, aside from Zatch Bell, is there another anime that you can think of that has, like, a pretty satisfying ending?
FMA.
Oh, Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, oddly, the MHA ending is being compared to that one because Edward Ulrich also loses his powers, but the difference is that Edward Ulrich never wanted his powers in the first place, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I mean, Full Metal Alchemist was never really my thing, but if I'm not mistaken, Edward Ulrich never wanted anything to do with that whole bullshit, right?
Not necessarily.
I mean, you know it better than I do. Like, did he really want to, like, get involved with fighting or, like, the world's military?
Kind of complicated. I'd rather not talk about a story that you and I haven't both seen. It makes it kind of redundant.
Okay. Well, but point being, I'm seeing some memes describing how it's like, yes, you know, Edward Ulrich lost his powers as well, but at the same time, he never really wanted them. You know, so he gets his satisfying ending. Again, he ends up with Winry, and that all that is clarified. And so again, it gives us that satisfying payoff. And the unfortunate fact is that, again, MHA just did not give us that satisfying payoff. Whereas some anime just don't know when to end. Like, for example, you know, Toei
Dragon
Animation
Ball.
wants to... Yeah, Dragon Ball still hasn't fucking ended. You know, it's like, largely because Toei Animation just wants to milk that cash cow for one more drop.
Fucking so sick of that IP so much.
What'd you say?
I said I'm so sick of that freaking show so much. Just please, I just want it to die so badly. I really do.
I mean, at the very least,
I'm sick
Toriyama's
of the
death.
show. I'm sick of the show. I'm sick of the YouTubers. I'm sick of the content creators. I'm sick of the community. I'm sick of everything to do with Dragon Ball. Honestly, just like let this fucking IP die, please, for the love of God.
I mean, the one positive thing about Toriyama's death is that Dragon Ball finally gets to be shelved for however long it needs to be shelved, until it starts
No,
feeling fresh
no,
again.
no, it's not. No, it's not. Not
Yeah,
even
some
close.
people are trying to keep it alive, sadly.
Fucking Dragon Ball Daima coming out, so.
Right? I mean, but I think, like, hopefully by the time that ends, Toei Animation might start going, okay, I don't know, with Toriyama dead, should we really go to his apprentice and try to milk something out of him?
Toriyama hasn't been involved in the Dragon Ball franchise hands-on and in decades. Honestly, it's been mostly
Yeah,
Toei and Toyotaro that's been working on it. So his death doesn't really impact anything.
yeah. End of the day, I mean, honestly, Toyotaro was just following his manuscript when it came to Super. Um, so it's like that is my question: is like, when the fuck is Toei Animation going to stop milking this cash cow?
Good question. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I see. I guess I think you could say the same thing to Naruto.
Yeah, TV Tokyo is gonna milk Naruto until that show's fucking dead. Just
And you
until
know they're
that
gonna do
cow
the
is
same fucking thing to My Hero. You know they're gonna do the same thing to My Hero, even though it
maybe.
quote unquote ended. You know they're gonna make a sequel. Oh, it's gonna be about Deku's kid. Oh my god, Deku's kid's gonna become the #1 hero.
Maybe. I don't know. I know a lot of people, because they were so disappointed with this ending, they're either wanting an alternate ending or for Horikoshi to just clarify these damn details, because again, a lot of people were disappointed. But yeah, you do have to wonder, also why animation companies are just trying to, you know, milk a franchise for every last drop until there is not even milk in this cow coming out anymore. It's just dust.
Yep,
You know?
you milk these overrated, annoyingly freaking oversaturated IPs, but then ones that actually do deserve to get more content, you just get left in the dust. I'm still
Yep.
waiting for that freaking new anime for Soul Eater to come out. It's been what, over 15 years now?
Oh, what is there a new Soul Eater manga?
No, 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 no. The Soul Eater anime was like the original FMA anime, where it wasn't
Oh,
canon.
okay. Hmm.
So that's why I'm
So,
saying, like, I'm still waiting for that Soul Eater anime remake that will probably never happen.
right, and
Same thing
we're
for
here in the
Zatch Bell.
process trying to effectively get a redo of Zatch Bell, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Zatch Bell as well, yeah.
Because again, most of it was canon, but I would say there are probably about 50 filler episodes that weren't canon, right?
And even the stuff that was canon sometimes had filler content shoved into it.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't exactly
But
help. But plus, let's be honest, the Zatch Bell anime has not aged the best.
yeah, like I said,
The
honestly,
dub didn't even fucking finish.
again, I'm gonna do like a video both on the dub and the benefits of like franchise shelving for some franchises. Um, as I've talked about this, how like franchise shelving can be really, really healthy for a franchise. Just letting a franchise just sit on the shelf for like 10 years. Let ideas get more focused and everything. Because I'm going to refine this in an overall video. Morocco. Um, but I'm like to clarify some of my points here. Like with the Planet of the Apes franchise, the healthiest thing for it was to be shelved for 10 years. Because now we've got 4 really damn good movies out of it. Because the movies from the 70s and that 2001 Tim Burton one, they were all just shoved out there to just get an Apes movie out into theaters. But now with this recent effective quadrilogy, I think probably, given how good Kingdom did, it's probably going to get another movie. You know, these movies have a defined focus, because the main problem was with, like, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. It ended with, apes and humans living together in peace, and it just kind of slapped together, rushed us there, and you're just kind of sitting there at the end of this movie going, well, wait a minute. This detail wasn't clarified. That detail wasn't clarified. How did we get here? And so what I think the new trilogy, or rather, I think duo trilogy, is setting out to do is first, with the first 3 movies, was give us that origin, and then get us to that end point. How do humans and apes live together? When we have all this bad blood between us. I think that is the goal of this new set of movies. And that is the main thing, I think, ultimately, it comes back to. With the ending to any franchise or any anime, you want there to be narrative focus. What is this all building to? What is the goal trying to be accomplished? Like with Saitama, I think his placement in, like, are you familiar with One Punch Man, Andy?
Yeah.
And that's another good one, I think there is. That show just slapped the anime industry across the face and basically just said, stop doing power level bullshit. Stop doing power scaling. It is bullshit. Stop it. Stop giving the main character all the damn focus. Give some of these other characters focus. That show came along and just was either just a slap in the face or a bucket of cold water to wake everybody up about that, But the main point is, Saitama is working his way through the ranks of the Heroes Association. I think in the manga currently, let's see, the webcomic is further along. I think in the webcomic, he's like A-class rank 10, and in the manga, he's like A-class rank 29. And it's clearly building to him eventually getting into S-class. And we don't really have a supreme defined endpoint for One Punch Man. I think what that ultimate endpoint is going to be is Saitama fully recognized for his efforts. Because, as I think, if you've seen an episode, Saitama, he kills some big bad monster with ease, and then he doesn't get the credit for it. Or everyone thinks he's a fraud. He just took the credit from someone else. So the question is, when is he going to get his day in the sun? When is he going to get the credit for his efforts? That's probably, I would say, the defined endpoint for that series. Oh, Nate, welcome in. Nate? Nate, hello? Nate joined in, but Nate's muted. Oh, Nate.
I can't see my icons, so I couldn't know where was the unmute
It's okay.
button. Anyways, I'm at the bus stop and I'm using my Bluetooth headphones, so yeah, don't know how I'm gonna sound.
Well, we only have about 5 minutes left. But
all right, so my pitch for One Punch Man ending.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about that. I was saying what it needs to build up to is Saitama finally getting his day in the sun, where he is finally recognized by people for his efforts. He needs to be, not be proclaimed a fraud. Everyone says, yeah, Saitama is the hero. He did it. But what's your pitch, Nate?
That's good work, and I mean, with that, I think that ideally, even though webcomic spoilers, or apparent webcomic spoilers, I don't know if it has been proven canon, Boros is being kept alive in a tank somewhere by someone.
Yeah.
And yeah, So I have no idea. Wait, this is the wrong bus. Where the fuck is my bus? Anyways, so yeah, so that happens,
So
and I think that like I kind of want like this God arc to be like the last one, or it would be nice, especially if it would, maybe. And I'm like pulling at bullshit because I don't know if he ever had like a. I mean, we did have God possessing people and like giving them sort of possessing people and giving them powers. So that maybe could happen with Boros as well.
what, like
And
that,
yeah, God would possess him.
and
Because
give
hey, this is
Saitama
like a
the fight of his
strong,
life?
strong mortal body. Yes. And like, again, like people would like, maybe finally like, again, celebrate it and shit. And but
So
like so what I would
so
like to
basically,
see is like,
him and
happen
Boros.
hush. I'm talking, hush.
Okay, go ahead.
And like so that happens, massive fight, massive destruction, massive penis. And yeah, people and people again like recognize Saitama as a hero, blah blah blah. Then for the like first epilogue, I think I would like to see like the gang like all together playing video games, just being happy, like Saitama being happy, everyone being happy. I don't care if Saitama gets with one of the psychic sisters or if he doesn't get with anyone in the end. It's all right. It matters to me that like he like finally people realize him as a hero, and he finally realizes that I have friends. I'm happy now. I like And
Yeah.
then for like a little bit of like second epilogue, I would say I would like to see Genos like grasping at whatever left of his like the previous life, previous village he would have. I don't care if it would be a fucking rock. And like he looks out, he looks back at the party, and he like lays the rock down and lets the cyborg go as well. He's like, well, I tried. I never got it, but that doesn't matter. I have this now.
Yeah, that could be a good ending if he doesn't get the recognition. He just
I mean,
realizes he's got friends.
ideally, I guess he would like, get both. But again, I mean, like,
Yeah.
I think that like, when he would have his like, stable friend group and heck, even his roommates from next over now would be there. It's like, potential new connections as well. And yeah, like, because I think like, from what I've seen of him, he like of course I'm being a hero, that was his dream, but also I mean having people around, having friends.
Yeah, totes agree. Um, Again, I think that would make for a damn good ending. We'll see how one and Murata build up to it. I think it probably is what we're getting to. Like, if one is keeping Boros alive, he's alive for a reason. There is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe like after the possession, Boros could be also like I don't know, go somewhere and exist. I don't know, or like
Yeah,
become like sort of like fighting buddies with Saitama, like let's ruffle.
maybe. Yeah, again, like Boros. Like, maybe Boros doesn't get possessed by God, but he, like, I don't know, maybe like a Saiyan, he
But
benefits from some kind of Zenkai boost or something from after his nearly dying.
I mean that would like align with like him being a parody of them.
Yeah, at the end of the day, One Punch Man's
But
kind of a
like
parody of DDT.
yeah. But then
So
like without the god possession, we would still have that massive fucking problem. Especially
yeah, I think
starting.
either way could work. Give Saitama finally the fight of his lifetime. To where he has an opponent fighting on equal footing with him. What? What is that?
So yeah. What? That's
I
the
couldn't
bus
hear you.
announcement.
Oh. Let's see. What time are we at? Um, Yeah, we're at 30 minutes. So, Nate, unfortunately, you didn't get to do the intro, but you still can do the outro. But what?
What? Again,
Could you
that's
try
just
that
a bus
again?
announcement. That's just a bus announcement. Hello?
I can't quite hear you.
Man's so quiet. I can't understand a thing he's saying, bro. Like, is he talking like 10 miles away from his microphone?
No.
Okay, now I can hear you, Nate. So can you do the outro now?
Finally. Via YouTube, this has been the Idiots Podcast, episode 30 something. I'm not counting.
36.
36.
Andy, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah. If you want to see what the real ending to One Punch Man basically is, go watch Anime War.
Anime War?
Oh, Shasha.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on YouTube.
All right, I guess we could check that out sometime. But we'll go
Definitely
ahead and close this
should.
out. Stream will be at 3 o'clock. We'll be doing more part 2. And yeah, look forward to more content this week, more Zatch Bell episodes, and my video on why the Zatch Bell dub in the West had problems and why what we can do to kind of potentially fix things. But yeah, see you on the stream today, guys. But for right now, peace out.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, peace out.
Let's get Craigbot to stop. All right, peace out.